After working 5 years on my RPG game, I'm really excited to finally show it to you. Let's go back a bit. Why did I make this game, and why did it take me so long? I've always had a thing for JRPGs like Golden Sun, traversing the overworld, leveling up, and becoming stronger. But I also like the sense of crafting and exploring sandbox games, like Terraria or Stardew Valley. For my game, I wanted to mix all of this. That sounds like a huge effort for just one person, and after all this time, I'm not done. But making a game is fun, so I never looked back. Now, on to the devlog. As I said, a huge overworld was essential for me to capture that nostalgic JRPG experience. That's why I built the overworld before anything else, and everything grew from it. Here you see my hero traveling Britannia, a land inspired by British geography and lore. I'm entering the port city of Rideron, one of the biggest cities in Britannia. It's a perfect place to start exploring the world of Lorem. If you get yourself a prized ship, you can set sail from the docks, and then traverse the oceans, which I added to make the world exploration feel so much bigger. Maybe you can even cross the Great Western Sea. Back to the overworld now. By adding oceans, you can see what's next while exploring. Everywhere you see, there's just water. The unknown awaits. There could be something big just right ahead of you. I hope this unknown adds a layer of mystery to exploring. Having traveled a long distance, I have to let a season pass to recover my movement energy. As you can see, my food stash is empty now. If not reaching land soon, my heroes will die and it will be game over. I added resource planning to add more adversity to exploring, hopefully making it less predictable. Finally, I'm reaching Hibernia, 2 islands inspired by Ireland. I can later refill my supplies here to travel further west. But a big overworld by itself is boring. There must be adventure to it, something to do. This raised the question early on as to how the overworld can be filled, to make it worthwhile to go around and explore. One approach would be to do it like JRPGs, throwing a lot of battles against you, grinding levels, and a story to provide meaning. I really like the exploration and world building parts of JRPGs, but not the grindy battles. Also, building an impactful story is very hard, especially as an indie dev with no experience with storytelling. Finally, building seemingly endless amounts of handmade maps sounded very daunting, even to me. So I looked elsewhere to fill the world with life. Seeking inspiration from games with less story-driven and more sandbox type of play seemed natural. As I said, I did like the sense of crafting, farming and looting in games like Terraria or Stardew Valley. And I thought this was perfect to put in my game. You would explore to learn more about the world, gather resources, improve your gear, and finally build up your own homestead, while having the freedom of a larger sandbox compared to many other games. Still, a lot of work to build these activities and make them mix together well. What activities though? If you played sandbox games, you're probably familiar with mining, gathering, and farming. To go mining, you need to enter a cave to hit rocks. The caves are located all over the world and accessible from the overworld. The monster difficulty and rarity of ore depends on the cave's level and depth you are on. Next, you need a forest to chop wood, forage, slay animals, and bandits. Any forest tile on the overworld can be entered if you're close enough to the tile. In the forest you can chop wood and collect material for building your house, like clay. You can also slay animals for meat, forage mushrooms, berries, and much more. If you feel like it, you can also go to the ponds to catch fish. Let's go back to Civilization now. The game features a renown-based system to make NPC behavior more interactive. Role-playing a hero or a villain should make a difference. In a nutshell, renown determines the respect the citizens of Lorem will give you. For example, to access the inner worlds area of Rideron, You need to have a friendly standing with the local people. I don't have that, so the guards don't let me enter. For the city of Falahan, it's different. As I have already done a good amount of work for the barony of Angara, the gods let me through this time. Because it's a sandbox, I want players to be able to rob and murder people, if they want to. But they should also face the consequences for these actions. Here, I'm stealing from the villagers of Gwent and finally murdering someone. Since my renown is now negative, guards will attack me on sight. NPCs will no longer talk to me. On the overworld, I'll now regularly be attacked by bounty hunters and justice seekers, as long as I'm in the borders of the country where I've committed my crimes. I hope that the renown system will strike a good balance for punishing evil acts. To build your renown back up, you can go to a bounty board and take up tasks. Once you have accepted a task, you will find it in your journal. The tasks will send you to procedural maps for simple fetch and kill objectives, to help the local people. The church is asking to kill an alpha heretic who's preaching in a nearby village. Let's eliminate him. First, I go to the village. I attack and defeat the heretic. Finally, I take my earned reward. I'm making progress by getting coins, experience and renown. Do this a few times and you have enough renown to enter Ridaron. The loot you get can be used for crafting and trading to earn coins. Eventually, you grow rich and strong, so you can finally start thinking about your own home. To start with, you visit any empty tile on the overworld, then walk to the sale sign and buy the land. Let's take a look at the land that I already bought somewhere else. On your own land, you can plant and harvest crops. If you are tired of adventure and battles, you can chill at your cozy plot and earn coins this way. You can put down crates to store items and crafting stations to have everything at one place. Feeling lonely on your plot? Animals can keep you company. They provide valuable loot for crafting and trading. Here I'm exchanging berries I collected for cow milk. I can now sell the milk for more profit. Alternatively, you can also kill your cow for meat. Time passes with each season. Your hero ages and will eventually die. To continue your legacy, you can get a spouse. Over time, you will find eggs in your mail. After a couple of seasons, you can hatch and take control of them as new playable characters. As your heroes grow old, the next generation will take over. This completes the cycle of life in the game. And also the devlog, since this describes where I am right now. I built a lot of systems, a framework which I can now playtest and polish. It's still a lot of work, but I feel hopeful about building something big for people to play.